Moi moi mukulat. Uh, hey, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. Yeah, it's a wintry day here in Helsinki. And how are you?
Thank you. Very good. Very good.
We have some coffee at least, but no sweets this time. We were supposed to be talking about desserts as well, so we'll see how that goes without tasting. Do you have any favorite desserts?
Hmm. Um, I'd say my wife's blueberry pie is probably one of the best.
Yeah, good answer. And you?
Well, I love chocolate, and I would say I just tried recently. It's my neighbor and our friend. They have this kind of chocolate shop here in Helsinki called Choco. I mean, I think that's something you should also try. I mean, they have fantastic.
Yeah, we'll see if I have time for that. So if I would come to your house for dinner and we would have like a meal, like a full meal, and you would like to impress me, because I'm fancy. Not really, but still. What would you do for dessert?
Maybe I'd get something from.
That's still the blueberry pie, is it? No,
Yeah,
no, that's for you only.
No, that's strictly for me. No, I think if it wasn't my wife's blueberry pie, I think it would be macarons. That's my second favorite.
Do I look like a macaron guy?
A bit. Yeah.
And you, what would you treat me if I would come for dinner?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think in our house, I mean, it's the wife. I mean, she's doing all the desserts. I mean, I do some of the normal, the like I mean the meat or this kind of fish. But I mean, I think she's the expert. So you would be surprised. But I mean, I think they're quite good.
Okay. Yeah, we'll look forward to that. We'll see if that happens. I'll come to your house next weekend. So yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so we're here at Artek Second Cycle. Have you been at this space all the time?
Yeah, if we go a bit even further from the space, Artek Second Cycle was already taking its kind of initial steps in 2006 when we started just collecting mostly just Aalto stools and chairs with a lot of patina, repainted ones and so forth, and kept on collecting and showcased them in different fairs. Maybe the first one was in Milan in 2007 at the furniture fair. And the reception was really good, so we kept on finding more vintage Aalto, but we didn't have the store space yet. But there was lots of interest also locally, but especially internationally, for buying old Artek pieces. So in 2011, we opened the Second Cycle store, which is just around the corner from Helsinki Design Museum, and it's a fairly 500, 600 square meters of store space, depending on how much stuff we have, because sometimes we have to store some of the items to the store. But overall, a nice location, like this kind of a basement level store space, and it works for us really nicely.
But you share your time here and also at the Artek head office, do you? Or
we do collaboration projects, especially with Artek Global, in terms of finding out research material for them. We do also projects and collaboration closely with the flagship store in Helsinki, which is a very strong collaboration. And as of late, we've done also quite a lot of collaboration with Tokyo Artek store. And then
of course the Japanese. We're in Finland.
Yes.
You have a strange relationship, the Japanese and the Finns.
Yeah, I think Japanese know how to promote Artek even better than we ourselves. They have a very, very good sense of aesthetics. Yeah. So that's definitely very, very strong connection. But overall, Asia in general.
Could you like build? I mean, you've been doing this now, and you're working in the architectural industry or interior architecture industry. Could you do like a whole office space or a hotel with Second Cycle? Do you have that storage basically?
No, I would say maybe no. I mean, like a hotel. I mean, that would be a bit too much. But I mean, this kind of lobby and for each and every room, maybe like one or two items. I mean, and also I think it goes with the offices, and I think it's sort of like it's an additional layer. I mean, sort of like not just having everything brand new, but I mean, sort of having one or two vintage items. I mean, I think that's also what many many of the clients, I mean, they prefer.
We've done sort of projects with Vitra and also with Artek, kind of finding a bit of spice and depth to spaces that are sometimes even corporate, but oftentimes restaurants, and so maybe the
cafes and
yeah.
restaurants. I mean, those we have been doing. I mean, I think in Copenhagen and London.
Now in Oslo one and many.
Paris, Tokyo. I mean, so in many countries. But I mean, of course, they are sort of like, I mean, places for 20, 30, 50 persons.
So you celebrate 10 years now.
Of the store space.
Yeah, of the store space.
Yeah.
But you've been doing this for 15 then,
15,
if
yeah.
I count correctly.
Yes, you did.
So what's the most fun project that you've done over 10 or 15 years, depending on how you count?
I think we both have our favorites, but for me, yeah, I think it's really, I love buying, I love selling, I love meeting people and talking about the background of every item that because nowadays it's not just about, of course, the strong emphasis is on Artek and the heritage of Artek, but we have tons of other Finnish design here as well, sort of to showcase the past 100 years of Finnish furniture design. So what I love is doing research for items that maybe have been produced only for a short while, and then I think one of the nicest as of late has been the little restoration, or quite big restoration project of the Savoy restaurant, where we were able to, a little, of course not a whole lot, but a little help with the archival material that we were able to discover from the Alvar Aalto Museum's archives in terms of what textiles were used, because it's been redone in the past as well, but kind of showcasing the different versions of the Savoy restaurant that have existed before, and what kind of inspiration we can get from the past for the new setup. So these kind of projects for me are the most fruitful ones.
Why should I buy a Second Cycle Alto? I mean, isn't it as expensive as a newly produced, or even more expensive than a newly produced piece?
Yeah, I mean, they might be. I mean, if we are talking about items which are from the 1930s, 40s, 50s, I mean, those are sort of like, they have some, well, maybe if I say museal value. Or
Provenance.
Yeah, provenance, they're vintage. They might be more pricey than new ones.
Yeah.
And
Because it's not money. I mean, you don't choose it because of the.
I mean, you should buy it if you like it. I mean, if you need it and you have decided, okay, I mean, I need a table, chair, whatever.
Right.
Lamp or side chair, and you need it, and you decide to buy something that's going to last forever. I mean, maybe you give it to your kids one day, and so I think that's the story behind Artek Second Cycle. So I mean, we have a lot of items from the 30s with a little bit of care and love and restoration. It's going to last another 90 years.
Yeah.
That's difficult.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to count.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about? I mean, the whole furniture industry is now, of course, heading full force into sustainability, and repairing seems to be like one of the key words. I mean, caring or repairing or, polishing or whatever word you want to use. I mean, that's where the whole industry is going. What can they learn from you?
I think
You have to be careful now.
Yeah, your secrets.
No, I mean, it's not that, but I mean, just like that we are. I mean, we don't want to advise other people. I mean, it's.
No, but because it's also about communication. It's not necessarily about, because I mean, a lot of brands, because you want to be heading on to the sustainability train that's sort of like moving forward, and you could choose different angles, and materials has been sort of like something that's been very freshly done, but I think that repairing is absolutely, and you have 10 or 15 years of experience in your back on this.
Yeah, I'd say Artek has much more decades of experience in this. So we've collaborated with the same upholstery atelier since day one, pretty much, at the factory. So there's Aalto furniture that have been upholstered at one point. Of course, it wears. The also the wooden parts, the lacquered surfaces might need some maintenance every now and then. But oftentimes we say that the patina is really, really special, that it's kind of gathered in decades. So it's not something that we want to touch, but it's up to the client really. Right. But what we have been doing since pretty much since very early on is the reupholstery. So you buy a certain furniture piece by Aalto or a Finnish design item that you kind of grow with. So it's the idea that when the fabric gets too worn, you can have it reupholstered, but the frame itself remains the same, and it kind of gives another life, another cycle within the family, or if even so, if somebody wants to, it does not find Aalto design or Artek designs that interesting anymore or purposeful for their own interiors or homes, they can resell them, and then they can be restored, reupholstered. And this has been the trend for now, of course, but of course it's been in Finland for a longer stretch than just this 15 years. So there's this appreciation for what you have at your home, and you don't want to get rid of it to get something new instead. It's something timeless, and that's the appeal, I think, in many modern design furniture, but especially with wooden furniture. There's something very, very it grows very nicely in time to maybe to something even more beautiful.
I'm not letting you in. You're not allowed to talk. I have the microphone. I was thinking. Oh yeah. So you've been doing this for 10/15 years. Yeah. And it's going well. You look very healthy, and you look like you're doing well. Are you changing? I mean, 10 and 15 years is sort of like a leap there. So are you changing, adding, twisting, or tweaking anything right now for the future?
Well, I mean, when we started, I mean, I think we also had, I mean, if you look at from that perspective, what we offered for the clients. I mean, we had a lot of Danish items. We had some Italian design. We had American design. Probably some Swedish design too, but I mean nowadays I think it's gone since, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, or 5 years, I don't know. But just like now we're focusing only on Finnish design. I mean, we do have some like Italian items here or so, but I mean I think the core and the focus is on Finnish items. But then we have been discussing, so what's the next 10 years? Yeah. But I think we don't really have this kind of big master plan what we are going to do, but I think it's this kind of it's evolving, and it's probably when you come here after 10 years. I mean, we had doing another interview, so then we know what's. But I still do think that Alvar Aalto, Ilmari Tapiovaara, and this kind of big Finnish names, they are going to be the main focus. But of course, we do hope that there are some new designers coming from the younger generation. They are making something really interesting, and that we could start selling their items too.
We have 1.5 minutes to go. Yeah, I know. Yeah, time runs. Time flies, really. So the last super quick question. Now it's like 1 minute to go. What's it like to have Swiss-German owners in this?
I think it's been a brilliant few years with Vitra. I think we have a very strong kind of a connection with the Vitra Design Museum, and the kind of the Artek Second Cycle project is very close to what they appreciate about modern design. So, and Vitra in general, they have great channels. They have a lot of understanding for the design furniture industry that maybe Artek, of course we're an international brand, were before that, but it brought a lot of this efficiency to our work. So it's been good.
No Swedish. No Swedish. No.
Earlier before the interview, and it's
no Swedish anymore.
I said.
Well, okay. We're gonna leave it at that. You're happy with the Swiss-German owners, yeah. And I look forward to seeing you in Stockholm next time. I hope I see you in Stockholm for the Design Week in February. Yeah. And with this, we have 14:40 in seconds. So 14 minutes are up, and 15 is coming. So I'll say bye.
Bye bye.